Imagine this. It's 7:30 a.m. on January 30th, 2025. The sun is just beginning to rise over the quiet town of Goulburn, Australia. While most residents are still asleep, a major police operation is already in motion. Officers in tactical gear surround a house linked to one of Australia's most infamous motorcycle clubs. Inside, they discover knuckle dusters, lock-picking tools, and white powder believed to be illegal drugs. And that's just the beginning. This isn't an ordinary police raid. It marks the beginning of a 4-day crackdown that would shake one of the world's most feared outlaw motorcycle clubs to its core. The Hells Angels had arrived in Canberra for their national run, assuming they could move freely. They were wrong. Over the next 4 days, dozens of fines were issued. Weapons were seized, arrests were made, and one of Australia's top police units sent a clear message. No one is above the law. But what exactly happened during those 4 intense days? How did law enforcement know where to strike? And what secrets were the Hells Angels trying to hide? The gathering storm. To understand the scale of the operation, you first need to understand what a Hells Angels national run really is. It's not a casual ride. It's a strategic gathering that brings together hundreds of the most dangerous bikers from across the country. Founded in California in 1948, the Hells Angels now operate in 66 countries with over 6,000 members. Their iconic Death's Head patch is worn with pride and feared around the world. They're not weekend riders. They're part of a criminal organization involved in drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, and violent crimes. Law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, Australian Federal Police, and Europol, classify them as an international organized crime syndicate. When it was announced that the 2025 national run would take place in Canberra from January 30th to February 2nd, police agencies took immediate notice. Past runs have been marred by violence and criminal activity, including a deadly 2015 event in Greece. Now, Australian authorities were preparing for a potential showdown. Enter the Raptor Squad. New South Wales Police's Raptor Squad, an elite anti-gang unit established in 2009, took the lead. With over 4,000 arrests and 10,000 charges to their name, they are known for their relentless tactics. Led by Acting Superintendent Virginia Gorman, the squad began its operation in the early hours of January 30th. Their first targets, 2 homes in Goulburn and Queanbeyan, linked to known Hells Angels members. Officers executed firearm prohibition orders, which allow searches without warning. At 7:30 a.m., they stormed the first property and found weapons, drugs, and criminal tools. It was clear this would not be a peaceful gathering. Gorman's unit joined forces with ACT policing, setting up vehicle checkpoints, deploying surveillance teams, and closely monitoring communications. The Hells Angels may have planned to dominate the streets, but law enforcement was one step ahead. The crackdown begins. On January 31st, police ramped up their efforts. Checkpoints were set up on major highways leading into Canberra. More than 40 bikers and multiple support vehicles were stopped and searched. Officers thoroughly inspected motorcycles, checked IDs, and ran criminal background checks. By February 1st, intelligence reports suggested the bikers would gather at the Harmony German Club in Canberra. Police were waiting. More checkpoints, more searches, more pressure. The message was clear: you are not welcome here. Building the case. This wasn't just about road safety. Police were building a larger case. Over 4 days, they conducted 35 personal searches, 18 vehicle inspections, and identified 23 vehicle defects. They also seized more weapons, including a knife, and uncovered more drugs. These were not personal use quantities. They pointed to drug distribution. 3 men were charged: a 36-year-old man for drug possession, a 43-year-old man for driving without a license. Both were issued court notices and faced serious legal consequences, a deeper threat. This operation revealed more than just weapons and drugs. It uncovered patterns of organized criminal behavior. The Hells Angels were not just passing through. Their presence was strategic. Their activities were calculated. Superintendent Gorman emphasized that outlaw motorcycle gangs will always be under surveillance during major events like national runs. The goal wasn't just to disrupt this gathering, it was to send a lasting message. The global picture. The Hells Angels are part of a vast criminal network spanning 66 countries. In Australia, they compete with other gangs like the Bandidos, Rebels, and Comancheros for control over illegal trades. The Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission estimates that 39 outlaw motorcycle gangs operate nationwide with thousands of members and associates. Their motto, 1%ers, a reference to their belief that they are the 1% of bikers who live outside the law, and they live up to that title with a history of shootings, assaults, drug operations, and intimidation. Operations like this one in Canberra are not unique. Similar crackdowns have taken place across Europe and North America. In Slovakia, the U.S. Embassy issued security warnings for a Hells Angels gathering, citing past violence, including the 2015 death of a Greek man during a world run. The final tally. When the dust settled, Operation Raptor had resulted in 50 traffic infringement notices, multiple arrests, weapons, and drug seizures. But more importantly, it disrupted potential criminal activity and reinforced that the Hells Angels would face constant pressure wherever they operate. The tools seized weren't for riding motorcycles. They were tools for violence and crime. The message from law enforcement was unmistakable. There will be consequences. The Raptor Squad has become a model for global anti-gang efforts. Their success has inspired similar units elsewhere. And their motto, "Never take the pressure off," is more than a slogan. It's a promise. Aftermath. The media coverage of Operation Raptor turned what was supposed to be a show of power into a PR disaster for the Hells Angels. Court appearances, arrests, and public scrutiny have tarnished the gang's image. The criminal underworld took notice. If the Hells Angels couldn't evade law enforcement, who could? As legal proceedings continue, the true legacy of this operation is the precedent it set. No outlaw motorcycle gang is untouchable. Every run, every gathering, every show of strength will be met with a stronger response. The Hells Angels came to Canberra expecting to dominate. Instead, they encountered one of the most well-coordinated, effective law enforcement operations in recent history. Superintendent Gorman's final words say it all. Outlaw motorcycle gangs and their associates should know they cannot gather in large numbers for a national run without attracting the attention of the Raptor Squad. The era of unchecked outlaw biker dominance is coming to an end.